Jordi, I know it's a quick trip to Cleveland, but just like how good is it just to still be back here in the city?
Yeah, it's always great. This is home for us. For me, home in the U.S. Spent 7 years here, and it's just good to be in the building and see familiar faces. And for me, it means a lot being here.
For you guys as a group, as a team, you guys got a big win last night. Just what do you need to see, and what do you want the players to take away from last night's win and to carry over versus Cleveland?
Yeah, consistency and clean up some mistakes. We're not good in our out of bounds defense, for instance, and our efficiency at the rim was not good. But I'm happy with the way we played overall. Our pace in the full court, like limiting our turnovers to 7, I think allowed us to run better. We found the 3-point line, and like I said, we were not efficient from the free throw line and shooting twos. But that's something that I know the guys can do better, so I'm not concerned.
With D'Angelo Russell being out, I know you guys have played without him before, but that was earlier, and then you had Killian Hayes. With no Killian, just kind of like, how do you plan on playing, especially with that point guard position here tonight?
Yeah, it's a next man, and I think all our guys can bring the ball, can start offense, and do whatever we run, and I trust all of them. So it's going to be a next man mentality. It's going to be one of the 5 on the court bringing the ball, and as long as we play with pace and we take care of the ball and we're spaced properly, I think we'll be okay.
This is the second night of a back-to-back. The last time I was way earlier in the season. It was also a second night of a back-to-back back in November. With that game and with the lead that you guys did have, then just kind of what do you want your team to remember about that matchup and about this team when it's needed going up against Cleveland?
Yeah, it went down to turnovers. It was. We had a good game, like you said. I remember I played in Boston, went to overtime, then came here. But I thought we played well, great energy in the fourth. Just we turned the ball over too much, and that's something that we have to learn. Like I said, limiting our turnovers to 7 yesterday, I think that was a big reason why we won the game. So just learn from that.
Let me come grab that for me. I'm just going to slide up. Coach, Cam Johnson, obviously you talk complimentary about him all year, but just curious, as first-year head coach, to have a veteran like him who just seems to be about the right things and a veteran amongst this group, how important has he been this year for helping you try and establish what's important to you culturally here?
Yeah, he's been very important, and more than a veteran. I think when you say the word veteran, sometimes you feel like an older person, and Cam is more like a grown-up and very responsible, great professional, great teammate. Shows up every day with a smile on his face. He wants to do things the right way, holds teammates accountable. He's a leader in his own way, which I really appreciate. So he's been a big part of what we're trying to do. That's why we love him. That's why he's here with us. And he's definitely made me a better coach, and he's made my job way easier.
Just with the Cavs, they're obviously having a historic season. I know you've already seen them multiple times this year, but what impresses you most about them, the way they're playing, and is the most difficult thing to deal with on the other end?
I think their confidence, like the swag they're playing with. You can see there's close games and they get it done. They keep rolling, and winning games in a row is very important if you want to be a good team in this league. Obviously, number-wise, they're number 1 offensively, number 7 defensively. They have rim protection. They have shooting. They can play pick and roll. So, very well coached. They're playing with great energy. It's fun to watch them play. This helps the business of the NBA, and every time you play against a very good team, it's a challenge. So it's really good for us. So we're excited to play against the best team in the NBA.
Jordi, Kenny was just saying on the other side that his first year as a head coach in Brooklyn, he didn't know what he was doing, really, and then there's a comfortability that comes with the second time around. What have you learned in your first year on the job here?
Yeah, I mean, I use the line, I'm learning every day, and I agree with him. I don't know what I'm doing. Just I have good people around. I have great coaching staff, great group of guys that come in and work every day in a front office that we have great communication, and we're aligned, and we know what what the plan is with our owner's vision, and I think that makes me feel better. Now, do we make mistakes? We all make mistakes, but I think when you make honest mistakes, that's what's most important. That means you're trying to do what's best for the group. So, you know, having each other's back is most important thing, and showing up and working and getting 1% better. And I think that so far I'm very happy with what the group is doing.
Given that you and Kenny share the player development background, you have the same jumping off point for the start of your head coaching career, what sort of, I don't know, blueprint do you see for yourself in the way that he has climbed through the coaching ranks?
Yeah, I mean, if I can, if I can survive and keep being a head coach, I think he's an example, right? Like, he had success in Brooklyn, and he's having a lot of success here. And, you create your own path. He has his. Obviously my background is different than his, not better nor worse, it's just different. But obviously looking at what he's done and where he established himself, it's really good to see. And, I'm just in my first year, so I'm just, like I said, trying to learn, get better, and survive.
He was saying that there's nothing you can do, that he could do to prepare for this job. You, as you know, had 2 summers running Canada before you did this. So do you think that helped a little bit? And did you take any of the things that you do in the national team and apply it to what you do in Brooklyn?
Yeah, I think it's it's a perception. I mean, I've coached in the G League in Canton for 2 years. Those were awesome reps. And then I coached in a World Cup and the Olympics. And the reality is, people in the NBA can see you doing it, but if they don't see you, it doesn't really mean much, right? So obviously, coaching Canada gave me more vision. I was more visible than being in the G League, but the reality, the reps were there. This is a different beast. It's a different job. I know it's basketball, but managing an NBA season is very different because what involves, from talking to you guys twice on game days, which is great, to, managing like a big staff and the process and the draft and so on and so forth is different than coaching in any other league or either international, national teams. At the end of the day, it's basketball, but my years from here, player development, to Denver SAC, I think I've been prepared to do the job. But once you get here, you don't know anything about it. So, walking the steps and taking it one day at a time.
A lot of different teams have identities that they base both of their things off of, but obviously coaches also create their own identity and how they run their organizations. Can you talk a little bit about how his coaching identity didn't come in until like his 3rd season in the NBA? How have you started beginning to create your own identity with this team and in the process of what you are with the organization?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's very important to show up every day to work and get 1% better, right? So the work has to be there. It's important to work when people don't see you, right? Like, you guys watch games, but you cannot be on all the practices. So what you don't see, it's important. Building relationships is extremely important because we're a group and not just players with players, but also coaches and front office. At the end of the day, that's important in life. If you do have that relationship, then you can hold somebody accountable, they can hold you accountable as coach, so on and so forth. And then you have to do what's best for the team, right? You have a role, you have a job for the group, and if you can do it, it's not about you, it's about the team. So I think at the end of the day, that will create an identity that we want to be perceived as. And for us, if we're competitive, we're connected, and we're selfless, I think that's what we want to do. And like I said before, it's about showing up every day with positive energy and go ahead and do it. So I'm really happy with not just the players, but also the coaches bringing it every day and the support we have, like I said, from the front office.
In that same breath, obviously there's times where you have to go through film work, you have to watch other teams, and obviously the Cavs are having a great season. Have you been able to look at what Kenny has been able to do and maybe implement some of those things in your own right?
Yeah, I'd love to have, the ability to do it. The reality in the NBA is, if you want to get to number 1 defense and number 7 defense and number 1 offense, you need a process. And, that's what we're starting here, and we're very happy with it. We're very happy with our group. And, we know how it works. For us, wins are not just the ones that show up on, the left and the right. Wins are are the young guys getting better? Well, everybody's getting better. Are the coaches getting better? Are we accomplishing what we want to? So, that's important for us. We believe in the process because we don't want to just win. We want to sustain winning. We want to sustain success. And if you don't believe in the process, then I think it's tough.
Every time I've watched you guys play, it seems like Dayron just pops off on the, just watching TV. What is it about his development over these years? Obviously, this is his first year with him, but that has stuck out to you. And how difficult is it for someone to go through as many coaches as he's gone through and still come to be the player he is right now? Yeah,
I think when you play with energy and emotion, that's what you say that it pops up. And he's a kid that he is a big heart and plays extremely hard, and he cares. Great teammate, funny, and at the end of the day, having positive energy is important, and that's what he brings to the game. He comes in, plays extremely, extremely hard, and he's a great offensive rebounder, but also he can score. He's been more comfortable shooting, good rim protector, can be aggressive in pick and roll, all those things that he's done very well, and now we want his consistency from a young guy. Like you said, he's still very young. He has some experience, so he has to use this experience from previous coaches, the previous years and the minutes he's played, now to use it now that he sees consistent minutes, and I think he's doing a great job.